So I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this section is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This includes the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication of volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Now, I recently read chapter 8 of 2 Samuel and chapter 18 of 1 Chronicles. Both these chapters detailed David's conquests and his expansion of Israel to its largest extent to what God originally planned for it, promised. And now we have rest. The wars are over. He has expanded the borders and subjected all of his neighbors. So, there we go. This is 2 Samuel chapter 9. David seeks to honor the house of Saul. He finds Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, to whom he restores all the land of Saul. Now, you may recall, you may not, I believe it was in 1 Samuel chapter 20, that David and Jonathan made their league of friendship together, and David promised not to retaliate against Saul or Saul's family. And that's partly why we had 7.5 years where Ishbosheth was king after his father Saul, but David was king in Judah, and we had this hostilities between the two, and David didn't really fight. He didn't attack Ishbosheth. We just had some hostilities there on the borders, right? And so now David, he has rest, and he remembers his covenant that he made with Jonathan, and so now here we go. And David said, "Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may shew him kindness for Jonathan's sake? And there was of the house of Saul a servant whose name was Ziba. And when they had called him unto David, the king said unto him, Art thou Ziba? And he said, Thy servant is he. And the king said, Is there not yet of any of the house of Saul, that I may shew the kindness of God unto him? And Ziba said unto the king, Jonathan hath yet a son, which is lame on his feet. And the king said unto him, Where is he? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lodabar. Then King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, from Lodabar. And when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, was come unto David, he fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, Mephibosheth. And he answered, Behold, thy servant. And David said unto him, Fear not, for I will surely shew thee kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father. And thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. And he bowed himself and said, What is thy servant, that thou shouldest look upon such a dead dog as I am? Then the king called to Ziba, Saul's servant, and said unto him, I have given unto thy master's son all that pertained to Saul, and to all his house. Thou therefore and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in the fruit, that thy master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread alway at my table. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then said Ziba unto the king, According to all that my lord the king hath commanded his servant, so shall thy servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table as one of the king's sons. And Mephibosheth had a young son, whose name was Micah. And all that dwelt in the house of Ziba were servants unto Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both his feet. So I like this. This is David's way of honoring Jonathan. I think he's honoring Saul. I think it's more Jonathan. It's the promise that he made to Jonathan to not retaliate against Saul and to honor Saul as much as possible. So he gives him this. Now Ziba is described as a servant, but he also has servants. And this is where we get some of that odd nature of the slavery that existed in the Old Testament, because this is what the term servant means. It means a slave. It means somebody who is or belongs to another. So Ziba was a servant of Saul. He was a slave of Saul, but he also owned his own slaves. So it's a little bit of an odd arrangement there, but David not only gives him all of Saul's land, he gives Mephibosheth all of Saul's land, and he gives him Ziba and Ziba's whole household, which is about 15 sons and 20 servants. That's not a bad household to work your land for you. But Mephibosheth becomes part of David's court. He says, "You will eat at my table as one of my sons." Now, Mephibosheth would have been about the age of David's sons, because David and Jonathan, well, David was probably a little younger than Jonathan, so Mephibosheth is a little older than David's sons, most likely. So, we have all this. And while Mephibosheth will sit in the court and eat with David, his son is given the care of the land. So Mephibosheth owns the land, but his son Micah gets the produce of the land. He is fed from the land, and Ziba and his family will take care of Micah and the land and all that. So that's the arrangement being made, and it's all because of the covenant that David made with Jonathan. Now, it's not, I won't say it's all because I think David was a great man, and he would have wanted to do something like this anyways, but largely because of the covenant that he made with Jonathan. Now, this particular story is not mentioned in Chronicles, I do not believe, so we will be continuing in 2 Samuel in the next video, and I will see you then.